I don't think so.
Bye, sir. Bye.
Now this is on. When red light comes, it is on. Okay. It is recording. Start recording is on. Now, uh, according to the question, the first row and the second row is made in this column. Okay. First row and second row is made according to the question. Now the depth of rainfall in each every 20 minutes. This is the intensity of rainfall in terms of the mm per hour. That is 3 mm of rainfall occurs for 1 hour. So the for 20 minutes, this rainfall depth will be 3 into 20 divided by 60, which gives the value of 1 mm. Okay, rainfall depth for first 20 minutes is 1 mm. For the second 20 minutes also 1 mm. Third 20 minutes is 9 into 20 divided by 60, which becomes 3 mm. Okay, and third is 2.2, fourth is 2.2, and fifth 0.4, 6, 0.4, and seventh is 2 mm per mm per mm in 20 minutes. Okay, 2 mm in 20 minutes, that is 6 mm in 60 minutes. Now you can find the depth of rainfall. Now look at the total precipitation of the rainfall will be total precipitation will be 2 plus 1 plus 1 plus 3 plus 2.2 plus 4, 0.4 plus 0.4. This is the total depth of precipitation, which is equal to 10 mm. Or you can find you can add all the intensity of rainfall for each 20 for each hour, 20-minute duration, and the intensity of rainfall, summation of intensity of rainfall is multiplied by 20 divided by 60. You will get the value of same 10 mm. Okay, you can find the depth of rainfall according to this depth of rainfall in terms of mm and add all them. In this way you also do, or first of all you add all the intensities and multiplied by time interval delta t. That is delta t is 20 minutes. That's why 20 minutes is converted into hour as divided by 60. Okay, you can get the total depth of rainfall. Now the phi index. Look at the phi index. Phi index is as given as the 3 mm per hour. Phi index can be assumed as 3 mm per hour. But the intensity of rainfall is, look at the intensity of rainfall here, and compare this phi index with the intensity of rainfall for the first 20 minutes, second 20 minutes, fifth and sixth 20 minutes. The intensity of rainfall is less than or equal to 3 mm per hour. Intensity of rainfall is less than or equal to 3 mm per hour in this 100-minute duration, 120-minute duration, first 20 and second 20, 40-minute duration. The intensity of rainfall is 3, 3, 1.2 and 1.2. These values are compared with the phi index value. If these values are equal to or less than phi index value, then this intensity of rainfall do not produce the surface runoff. Okay, so the first, second, fifth and sixth 20-minute interval intensity of rainfall do not produce the surface runoff. Oh, surface runoff really produce gardaina. So phi index is given as 3 mm per hour. So the rate of rainfall of first, second, fifth, and sixth 20-minute interval do not produce surface runoff because they are then their intensity of rainfall is less than or equal to the phi index value. The time of excess rainfall. The time of excess rainfall must be considered for the remaining intensity of rainfall only. For the remaining intensity of rainfall only means 9 intensity 9 mm per hour, 6.6 mm per hour, and 6 mm per hour. These three intensity of rainfall period is only considered. First 20, 20, 20. This altogether it will get for 9 mm per hour 20 minutes, for 6.6 mm per hour 20 minutes, for 6 mm per hour 20 minutes. 3 20 minutes, which gives the total time of excess rainfall will be 1 hour. Okay, time of excess rainfall will be 3 times 20 minutes. 3 times 20 minutes, which gives the value of 1 hour. Okay. Now we know the time of excess rainfall. We know the high index. We know the depth of excess rainfall. Depth of excess rainfall will be 3 plus 2.2 plus 2. Depth of excess rainfall will be 3 plus 2.2 plus 2. Or you can from the 10 mm deduct 1, 1, 0.4 and 0.4. From total precipitation of 10 mm deduct 1, 1, 0.4 and 0.4. You will get the same value. Okay. Now 3 plus 2.2 plus 2, which gives the value of 7.2 mm. Now the precipitation that produces runoff P is equal to 10 minus 1, 1, 0.4, 0.4, which gives the value of this, or 10 total 10 minus 3 into 3 plus 3 plus 1.2 plus 1.2 into 20 by 60. That is the same thing. Okay, you can find the value of 7.2 mm at the precipitation, excess precipitation that produces the runoff. Now phi index is equal to P minus R divided by T. We know this relation. After knowing this relation, the value of R can be worked out. The runoff is not given here. The value of R can be worked out as 4.2 mm. Phi index is 3, P value is 7.2, R value is unknown, time of excess rainfall is 1 hour. That's why after solving this formula, you can find the variable runoff, excess rainfall runoff as 4.2 mm. Now surface runoff is 4.2 mm. Net surface runoff is 4.2 mm. Now according to the W index, we know the W index as the P minus R minus IA divided by time of excess rainfall. The P is considered for the total depth of rainfall for the W index. It is not considered as the excess rainfall depth. Not only consider excess rainfall depth, it considers the total depth of the rainfall. That's why the P value is taken as 10. Okay, and R is calculated as 4.2. R is calculated as 4.2, and the initial loss is given in the question as 0.80 mm. Initial loss is considered as 0.80 mm. So the initial loss is IA is 0.80 mm, which is divided by 1. You will get the value of 5 mm per hour, which is the W index. Hello? Hello? Have you understand this? Hello? With the help of phi index, calculate the runoff, and after knowing the runoff, the W index is calculated by using this formula: P minus R minus IA divided by time of excess rainfall. Time of excess rainfall is 1 hour. That's why P is considered for the W index as the total precipitation of that area. So the P value is taken as 10 instead of 7.2 for calculating W index. Okay, this gives the W index as 5 mm per hour. W index is 5 mm per hour. Net surface runoff is 4.2 mm, and these are the and this is asked for finding the determine the total rainfall. Total rainfall is 10 mm. Total rainfall is 10 mm. Runoff is net runoff is 4.2 mm, and the W index is 5 mm, which is asked in this question. Okay, you can do in this way. Now, question number 9. The mass curve of an isolated storm is 500 hectare. The mass curve of an isolated storm in 500 hectare watershed is as follows: 500 hectare catchment area or watershed or basin, means the same thing, and the isolated storm is given here. From the time of the start, the mass curve means the cumulative rainfall is given for the mass curve. That's why from time 0 to 2 hours, the total rainfall is 0.80. From 0 to 4 hours, total depth of rainfall is 2.6 centimeter. For 0 to 6 hours, the total depth of rainfall is 2.8. This is the cumulative rainfall. So the total rainfall over that catchment during the 18-hour time is 12.6 centimeter. During the 18-hour time is time duration is given as at the interval of 2 hours duration. Okay. Now cumulative rainfall is total is 12.60. Initially the p value is 12.60. If the runoff measured at the outlet is 0.361 millimeter cube, if the runoff is measured as 0.361 millimeter cube, estimate the phi index of the storm. Estimate the phi index of the storm and duration of excess rainfall. What will be the duration of the excess rainfall? That is the TE. The value of TE is equal to what? Time of excess rainfall. Also determine the W index if the other losses in the storm is 0.10 millimeter cube. If the other losses means initial losses are 0.10 millimeter cube. This is the question which is asked in the final of 2075. Okay, 2075 BS in the final this question is asked. This question was asked at that period. Okay, at that time. Now, according to this question, I did the solution. The solution is here. The time starts from the rainfall 0 to 18 hour, which is given in question, and the cumulative rainfall. This is for first row and second row. That is taken from this question. Okay, first and second row is taken from the question. These red marks are given here for understanding the understanding how I am doing the numerical. For you to understand, I have mentioned these red colors. Okay. Now incremental rainfall for each hour means from 0 to 2 hours the incremental rainfall is 0.80. For 2 to 4 hours, 2.6 minus 0.8, it will become 1.6. Because 0 to 6 hours is total rainfall is 2.8. From 4 to 6 hours is 2.8 minus 2.6. You will get the value of 0.20. Okay, 0.20. In this way, you can find the rainfall depth over the each and every 2 hour interval by subtracting the cumulative rainfall of the previous value by the succeeding value. Okay, and you will get the incremental rainfall. 2.8 minus 2.6, 0.20. 4.1 minus 2.8, 1.3. 7.3 minus 4.8, 3.2. 10.8 minus 7 by 3, 3.5. 11.8 minus 10.8, 1. In this way, the incremental rainfall is considered. This incremental rainfall is for the 2 hours. For the 2 hours. Okay, the time duration is 2 hours. Now for the intensity of rainfall, that is intensity of rainfall is generally expressed in depth of water per hour. That's why this 0.80 is divided by time of duration of 2 hours. Then 0.8 divided by 2, you will get the intensity of rainfall of 0.40. Okay, 1.6 divided by 2, 0.80. 0.2 divided by 2, 0.10. 1.3 divided by 2, 0.65. In this way, you can find the incremental rainfall divided by the time duration of rainfall. You will get the intensity of rainfall in centimeter per hour as in the row 4th of this table. Okay, this is calculated by dividing the incremental rainfall by the duration of rainfall. 0 to 2 hour duration is 2 hours. 2 to 4 hour duration is also 2 hours. 4 to 6 hour duration is 2 hours. 6 to 8 hour duration is 2 hours. That's why all these incremental rainfall value is divided by 2 hours. Then you will get the rainfall intensity in terms of centimeter per hour. This is the row 4 data that is taken. Now, for the calculation of phi index, to calculate the phi index, first of all we have to calculate the what depth of the rainfall. Okay, now before starting this, we have provided with the runoff volume as 0.361 million meter cube. The runoff volume is given as million in terms of volume. Runoff is given in terms of volume. The area of the catchment is also given. So that this volume is divided by the area of the catchment, then you will get the runoff depth. Okay, R value is can be calculated by dividing the volume of the runoff divided by the area of the catchment, you will get the runoff in terms of the depth of flow. Okay. Now this is done. Runoff depth R is equal to this is the volume of the runoff water, that is 0.361 million meter million meter cube is given. So for making it into meter cube, you must multiply it by 10 power 6 because it is million in terms of million. That's why this is the meter cube. Total meter cube will be 0.361 into 10 to the power 6 meter cube. Okay. Divided by the area of the catchment is 500 hectare. 500 hectare is given. This hectare is converted into square meter by multiplying 10,000. Okay. This data is the area volume is divided by total area, and you can get the rainfall depth in meter. Okay. Uh, the upper part of this numerator part of this is volume, and the denominator is this is the area. Volume is in meter cube and area is in square meter. After deducting this unit, the unit is converted into meter. Okay. And this we will get the 0.0722 meter, which is 7.22 centimeter. Okay. This is the rainfall depth of 7.22 centimeter. It is measured in centimeter because the incremental rainfall is given in centimeter, and the cumulative rainfall also given in centimeter. That's why I have converted this into the centimeter. Now for the first trial, we have to find the high index. For the first trial, let us consider that the time of excess rainfall is T is equal to 18 hours. For the first trial, time of infiltration or time of runoff is considered as the 18 hour. So the T is equal to 18 hour. Precipitation is total precipitation. Total depth of precipitation is 12.60 centimeter. This is the cumulative precipitation from 0 to 18 hour. That's why total depth of precipitation P is equal to 12.6 centimeter for the first trial. Now, phi index. Phi index is calculated as P minus R divided by T. P minus R divided by T. P is 12.6 minus R is 7.22 divided by time is considered as 18 hour. That's 80 divided by 18, which gives the value of 0.298 centimeter per hour. It is nearly equal to 0.30 centimeter per hour. Say, okay, 0.30 centimeter per hour. Phi index value is 0.30 centimeter per hour. Look at the table. Look at the table and look at the last row of the intensity of the rainfall. Last row of the intensity of the rainfall, because the intensity of rainfall is centimeter per hour and the phi index also given as centimeter per hour, and compare this. For the first 2 hours, the rainfall intensity is 0.40, which is greater than 0.30. Okay. 0.4 is greater than 0.3. Okay. Now the second for the fourth hour, the intensity of rainfall is 0.80, which is greater than 0.30. Okay. For the sixth hour, look at the intensity of the rainfall. It is 0.10 centimeter per hour. For the phi index is 0.30 centimeter per hour. That is, this 0.10 centimeter per hour intensity of rainfall is less than the phi index. So this rainfall does not produce the runoff. This 20 centimeter incremental 20 centimeter rainfall does not produce the runoff, or this intensity of 0.10 centimeter per hour does not produce the runoff. Now for the 8th hour, the intensity of rainfall is 0.65. Here is 0.30. This is greater than 0.30. Okay. 1.6 also greater than 0.30. 1.75 also greater than 0.30. 0.5 also greater than 0.30. But in the 16th hour, you can look at the table. The intensity of rainfall is 0.30. The phi index is also 0.30. I have already told you in the previous example that the intensity of rainfall, which is the less than or equal to the phi index, does not produce the surface runoff. So that is not considering. That is not considering for calculating the phi index or W index. Okay. So this 0.30 is equal to the 0.30 centimeter per hour. So it is also not considered. Okay, it is also not considered. So I have marked it as the red. Okay, red color. This is the red. This is not used. And 0.10 centimeter per hour, this last 18th hour also 0.10, which is less than 0.30, it is not also considered. So at the time of, look at the time, this 6 hour is not considered. Okay, this 16th hour is not considered and this 18th hour is not considered. The rainfall, incremental rainfall of 0.20, 0.60 and 0.20 also not considered. So for the next trial, the total depth of precipitation will be 12.6 minus 0.2, 0.6, 0.2. The 12.6 minus 0.6 plus 0.2 plus 0.2. This rainfall is not considered for the next trial. Okay. For the next trial, P will be 12.6 minus 1 because 0.6 plus 0.2 plus 0.2 will be 1. Okay. For the now, and the time of excess rainfall. We have taken the time of excess rainfall of 18 hours for the first trial. Now this, look at this 18, 16 and 6. These three 2 hour time is deducted from the total hour of 18 hours because each time is 2 hour duration. 16 to 18 2 hours, 14 to 16 also 2 hours, and 4 to 6 also 2 hours. Okay, this 2 hour for first, second and third 2 hour, 3 2 hour is deducted from the 18 hour. You will get the time of excess rainfall of 12 hours. Okay, 18 minus 3 into 2, 3 into 2 hours, you will get the time of excess rainfall of 12 hours. Okay, for the next trial, the excess rainfall will be, total rainfall is 12.60 minus 0.20 plus 0.60 plus 0.20. Okay, you will get the value of 11 point. You will get the value of almost 11.60 centimeters. Okay, for the second trial. Okay, for I have calculated this. Now for the second trial, phi index is equal to P minus R divided by T. The P value is 11.60 for the second trial, minus R value is 7.22 as already we have calculated, and T value is 12 hour for the second trial. The T value is 12 hour. This, which gives the phi index as 0.365 centimeter per hour, which gives the phi index as 0.365 centimeter per hour. Now look at the second trial, the phi index is 0.365. Okay, 0.365, and compare with the rainfall intensity again. Compare with the remaining rainfall intensity. Compare with the remaining intensity, that is 0.4 is greater than 0.365, 0.80 is greater than 0.365, 0.65 is greater than 0.365, 1.6 also greater than 0.365, 1.75 also greater than 0.365, and 0.50 also greater than 0.365. That means all these incremental rainfall would produce the runoff. All these incremental rainfall of 0.80, 1.60, 1.30, 3.20, 3.50 and 1 produces the surface runoff. So this will be the phi index of that area, because no precipitation, no intensity of rainfall is less than this phi index value. So another trial has not been taken, should not be taken, because this is the phi index of that area. Okay, if this value is also greater than any value of this area or equal to remaining hours of the duration of the rainfall intensity, then at that time you have to you do not consider that intensity of rainfall for the next trial. Okay, but for our case, this after the second trial, this intensity of rainfall or phi index, this is the absorption capacity of the soil, which is less than the intensity of the rainfall, remaining intensity of rainfall. That's why it is the average rate of infiltration of the soil. Okay, this is the phi index. After knowing the phi index, now calculation for the W index. As I have already mentioned you that W index is considered calculated by using the formula P minus R minus IA divided by time of excess rainfall. Time of excess rainfall means the time of rainfall which is considered for the determination of the phi index. That is the time of excess rainfall that produces the surface runoff. Okay. Now the initial precipitation is 12.60. For W index, we use the initial precipitation. So initial total depth of precipitation is 12.60. P value is 12.60. Okay, for phi index 12.60 minus R value is 7.22, and the initial loss is given as 0.10 million meter cube in terms of volume. Okay, now this volume is divided by the catchment area. You can find the depth of initial loss in terms of depth. So the initial loss is calculated here, right? And the depth of initial loss IA is calculated as other losses or initial losses, which is in million meter cube. That's why it is multiplied by 10 to the power 6 divided by total area of the catchment is 500 hectare. It is converted into square meter by multiplying 10,000. You will get the depth of initial loss in terms of meter of 0.02 meter. Okay, this meter is converted into centimeter, which is 2 centimeter. Now initial loss is 2 centimeter calculated here. Now put these values: total precipitation minus runoff minus initial loss divided by time of excess rainfall for the calculation of the phi index. Okay, 12.6 minus 7.22 minus 2 divided by time of excess rainfall for calculation of the phi index. That is the second trial time of excess rainfall is considered, because this phi index is the correct phi index of that area. That's why that at that time the time of excess for that calculation of the correct phi index of that area is considered as the time of excess rainfall 12, and you can find the W index as 0.282 centimeter per hour. Okay, this is the another question. If you don't understand how I calculated the W index in the previous example, then from this example also it may be clear to you all. Okay, it may be clear to you all, and you can do in this way. Now I haven't done much more examples related to the phi index, because the examples are done in 2-3 examples are done here, and how the value of the phi index is considered for the next trial. For that purpose, I have done the different techniques to know the whether the phi index is correct or not. For this, you have to compare this value with the rainfall intensity. Okay? If the rainfall intensity is greater than the phi index, that phi index will be the phi index of the area. If the rainfall intensity is less than or equal to phi index, then that that hour's time is not considered. That hour's precipitation is not also considered. Remaining time is taken, and remaining precipitation is taken for finding the next trial's phi index. Okay. After finding the phi index, W index is calculated. For calculation of W index, total P is taken as total depth of precipitation, and TE is considered for the time of excess rainfall for calculating the phi index. Okay, you can do in this way. The initial loss is considered for the calculation of W index, but initial loss is not considered for calculation of the phi index. This is the difference, and we can calculate W index in this way. Now, this is the question number 10. The evaporation pan of diameter 1.3 meter was used to find the evaporation loss from the reservoir area 35 kilometer square. This is the pan evaporation. We have to calculate the evaporation. Okay. Initially, the pan was filled up to the level of depth of 10 centimeter. And at the end of the observation, the depth of water measure was found to be 9.5 meter. Okay, 9.5 centimeter, not meter, centimeter. The rainfall depth occurred with this. The rainfall depth occurred at during the observation at the rainfall depth occurred during the observation was 6 centimeter. Determine the volume of water evaporated from the reservoir if the pan coefficient is 0.72. From the pan evaporation, pan using the pan, the lake evaporation or the reservoir evaporation or pond evaporation can be calculated by multiplying the depth of water evaporated from the pan into pan coefficient. That was taught in the theory. Okay, considering that you can find the evaporation from the pan. Now, solution. Area of the reservoir is given as 35 kilometer square. Area is in kilometer square. Let me convert it into the meter square. Kilometer square is converted into meter square by multiplying with 10 to the power 6. Okay, or 35 into 1000 into 1000. It converts into the kilometer, double kilometer. Kilometer is converted into meter by multiplying 1000, and for another kilometer multiplying 1000, 10 to the power 6 is multiplied. Okay, now this is the 35 into 10 to the power 6 meter square. Kilometer square is converted into meter square. Okay, now diameter of pan is given as 1.3 meter. Diameter of the pan, if the diameter of the pan, which is 1.3 meter given in the question. Evaporation loss from the reservoir area is the initial the pan was filled up to the level of the 10 centimeter. The pan was filled with the level of 10 centimeter up to depth of 10 centimeter. At the end, its depth will be 9.5 centimeter. The change in depth will be 0.5 centimeter. Okay, change in depth will be 0. Delta S value will be 10 minus 9.5, which will be the 0.5 centimeter. Okay. And now area of the pan will be, because the pan is circular, the diameter is given here, the pi d square divided by 4. This is the pi is equal to 3.14 into d square means 1.3 square divided by 4, which gives the area of the pan. Okay. Now precipitation during measurement. Total precipitation during the measurement is considered as the precipitation is as 6 centimeter is given. During the measurement, there is also precipitation occurs. That's why precipitation is 6 centimeter. Now, initial water depth was 10 centimeter. Final water depth was 9.5 centimeter. Now, use the water budget equation. Use the water budget equation. The inflow into the pan. Inflow into the pan will be the initial depth of water plus the precipitation over the pan. Okay, precipitated depth of water over the pan. That gives the value of initial depth of pan. That is P is precipitation plus initial depth is also input minus output is evaporation. Output is what? Evaporation loss, which gives the final depth of the pan as the final depth of the pan. Okay, final depth of the pan as 9.5. Now EP will be evaporation from the pan will be 6.5 centimeter. Okay, evaporation from the pan will be 6.5 centimeter. Now depth of evaporation from the reservoir. The depth of evaporation from the reservoir or lake is equal to EP into pan coefficient or pan coefficient into EP. The pan coefficient is given as 0.72. They are in the question. Now the 0.72 into evaporation loss from the pan EP from the pan 6.5 centimeter. Then if this gives the total depth of evaporation from the reservoir as 4.68 centimeter. 4.68 centimeter. Now the evaporated volume from the reservoir is the in terms of depth. Evaporated water from the reservoir in terms of volume is equal to this depth is multiplied by the area of the reservoir. You will get the volume of the water evaporated. Okay, reservoir area into evaporation depth of the reservoir. You will get the reservoir area is 35 into 10 to the power 6 meter square into depth is 4.68 centimeter. This centimeter is converted into meter by dividing by 100. Okay, this area is in square meter and this depth is in centimeter. this centimeter that is converted into meter by dividing by 100. You will get the total evaporated water from the reservoir as 16,38,000 cubic meter. 16,38,000 cubic meter. Okay, this is the loss of evaporation from the reservoir. You can calculate in this way. Now, for the question number 11, calculate the potential evapotranspiration from an area in the month of December by Penman's formula. Following data are available. I have already taught you about the Penman's equation. The Penman's equation is basically used to find the evapotranspiration of the area. That evapotranspiration may be potential evapotranspiration, actual evapotranspiration, or the consumptive use. You can use using the Penman's equation to find the evaporation from that area. From the surface of the land, or from the surface of the water, or from the plant body, and that is a combined from the evaporation loss can be calculated using the Penman's equation, which is called also used to find the potential evapotranspiration from the area. Okay, now for this the data are provided here. Latitude of the area is 28 degree north. Mean monthly temperature is 19 degree Celsius. Mean relative humidity is 75%. Mean observed sunshine hour is 9 hours. Wind velocity at 2 meter height, 85 km per day. Nature of the surface cover, grass, close ground green crops. Nature of the surface cover, close ground green crops. Slope of the saturation vapor percent versus temperature curve, 1 mm per degree Celsius. Mean monthly possible sunshine hour, 10.7 hour. Mean monthly incoming solar radiation, SC is equal to 10.5 mm per day. These are the data given in the question. With this data, we have to find the evapotranspiration loss from the area. Okay, these are the questions. Now, this what is this? I have to find the other variables also in from this data. Okay, now according to the Penman's equation formula, potential evapotranspiration, question for the question is asked to find the potential evapotranspiration. That's why potential evapotranspiration is calculated by using this formula, AHN plus A into gamma divided by A plus gamma. This is the equation. This is the equation given by the Penman's for calculating the evapotranspiration loss from the area. Okay, this is the equation. A is the saturated vapor pressure versus the temperature curve. This is the slope of the saturation vapor pressure versus temperature curve. The value of A is 1 mm per degree Celsius. This is slope of the saturation vapor pressure versus temperature curve, which is A. This value is 1 mm per degree Celsius. A value is that. Okay? And HN is equal to net heat radiation. Net heat radiation, that is calculated by using the long formula of the Penman's. That is Hn is equal to SC1 minus R A plus B N by N minus sigma tau A power 4 bracket 0.56 minus 0.092 under root A bracket 0.10 plus 0.90 N divided by N. This is the longer equation for finding the net heat of radiation. Net heat of solar radiation, incoming solar radiation. SC is the incoming solar radiation, which is given as the mean monthly incoming solar radiation as 10.5 mm per day. This is given. Now, for SC is not given there in the question. R is the albedo of the place. That is the reflection coefficient. The reflection coefficient of place is considered according to the types of the ground or types of the water body. That is considered as R. For the closed group crops, closed ground crops, the R value lies between 0.15 to 0.25. The R value lies between 0.15 to 0.25. I have considered the R value as 0.20. In between it, you can take 0.15, you can take 0.16, 0.17, 0.8, 0.9, 0.2, 0.1 up to 0.25. You can take any values of R in between these values. minimum value must be 0.15 and maximum value is 0.25, but I took the average value in between this, and this is 0.20. Okay, R value is 0.20. Now A is the constant which depends on the latitude of the area. A is the constant which depends upon the latitude of the area, and that is calculated by using formula 0.29 cos latitude, but latitude is given as 5 as 28 degree. Okay, now with the help of this degree you can find the A value as 0.29 cos latitude, 0.29 into cos 28 degree, which gives the value of 0.256. The A value is 0.256. B is also the constant whose value is 0.52. B is the constant whose value is 0.52. That is taken for the Feynman's equation. Okay. Now, the solar radius, the mean possible sunshine hour and the mean observed sunshine hour is given in the question. For the capital N, take the highest value of the hour. Mean monthly possible sunshine hour is 7.7 hour, and mean observed sunshine hour is 9 hour. This 9 hour is small n. This 10.7 hour is the capital N. Okay, this is given in the question. For n 9 hour, small n 9 hour, for capital N 10.7 hour. Okay, greater value for the capital letter and the smaller value for the lower letter. Okay, if you don't understand, then and also none. Okay, now another variable sigma. Sigma is the Stephen Boltzmann constant, whose value is given as 2.01 into 10 to the power 9 mm per day. Stephen Boltzmann constant sigma, whose value is constant. This value is 2.01 into 10 to the power minus n mm per day. This is the Boltzmann constant. Now TA is temperature in degree Kelvin. TA is the value of TA is temperature in degree Kelvin. We have given the temperature of 19 degrees Celsius here. This temperature has to be converted into the temperature in degree Kelvin by adding the 273 degree with 19 degree. You will get the temperature in degree Kelvin as TA. The TA will be 19 degrees Celsius plus 273. You will get the 293 degree Kelvin. Okay, this is the TA. TA value is none. Now the EA is the actual vapor pressure of the year. Okay, actual vapor pressure of the year, it is calculated with respect to the relative humidity, because we have provided with the relative humidity of 75%. Relative humidity is nothing. It is the ratio of actual vapor pressure and the saturated vapor pressure. Okay, it is the actual vapor pressure of the air divided by the saturated vapor pressure, which is the relative humidity. But saturated vapor pressure is not given in the question. Saturated vapor pressure is not given in the question, but temperature is given in the question. Temperature in degree Celsius is given in the question. With knowing this temperature, we can find the saturated vapor pressure by using the formula. Okay. Now, by using the formula ES, saturated vapor pressure can be calculated by this using the formula 4.584 e power 17.270 divided by 237.3 plus T, where T is in degree Celsius, where T is in temperature in degree Celsius. ES will be 4.584 exponential 17.27 into 19 degree Celsius divided by 273.3 plus 19. Okay. What is the data? All the data. Divided by 3 plus 19. It's not right degree. Okay. After solving this equation, you will get the ES value as 16.49 mm of Hg. ES value will be 16.49 mm of Hg. After knowing the ES value, relative humidity is considered as EA by ES. After knowing ES value and the relative humidity 75%, that 75% is converted into decimal by dividing 100. Percent is divided by 100, so we can get the decimal value as 0.75 is equal to ES by EA by ES. ES value is 16.49. Put the value of ES, you will get the EA as 12.37 mm of Hg. Okay, up to this you know the value of EA. Now you know the small n, capital N, you know EA, you know TA, you know sigma, you know the value of B, A, R, SC. So from this equation you can find the net heat radiation by using the equation Hn is equal to 2.8 mm per day. After putting all these values, the net heat radiation is calculated as 2.8 mm per day. Okay. After finding this Hn, now we have we have a given in the question 1 mm per degree Celsius. Hn is calculated and the EA. EA is the parameter which includes the saturation deficit and the wind speed. Okay, wind speed and saturated deficit is considered for finding the parameter of EA. This is can be calculated by using this formula. EA is equal to 0.35 1 plus U2 by 160 and ES minus EA. Okay, this formula is used to find the parameter EA, and this is the parameter EA which is used in the Penman's equation. This is calculated by using this formula. The value of U2, the wind velocity as the 2 meter above the ground surface or 2 meter above the surface is given here as 85 km per day. We put this in kilometer per day basis, and that's a wind velocity at 2 meter height from the surface, that is given as 85 km per day. This is the U2. This is U2. U2 is given here. So A will be 0.351 plus U2 is 85 divided by 160. ES value is 16.49 and EA value is 12.37. ES minus EA. You will get the value EA parameter as 2.21 mm per day. 2.1 mm per day. Now another value we need in this equation is gamma. This gamma is known as psychometric constant. The psychometric constant value is 0.49 mm of Hg per degree Celsius. Psychometric constant is called gamma. This gamma equals to 0.49 mm of Hg per degree Celsius. Now knowing all the variables EA, gamma, Hn and capital A, that is the slope of the saturation vapor pressure versus the temperature curve. If you know all these parameters, then you can find the potential evapotranspiration by using the equation AHN plus A into gamma divided by A plus gamma. This is the equation. A value is 1, Hn value is 2.8, AHN plus EA value is 2.21, and gamma value is 0.49, and A plus gamma is 1.49. Okay. 1 plus 0.49 becomes 1.49. If you solve this, you can find the potential evapotranspiration or transpiration from that area will be 2.61 mm per day. 2.61 mm per day. As the R value is considered, the albedo values can be considered for your reference as for the closed group curves, ground curve, take the value in between 0.15 to 0.25. For the barren land, it may be considered 0.05 to 0.45. Okay, it may be considered for this. And for the water surface, or 0.05. For the snow covered area, 0.45 to 0.95. Okay, in this range you have to take the value of R. For the deep surface of the water and for the shallow surface of the water, you have to calculate the formula using the Mayer's formula. At that time, coefficient of Mayer is taken as 0.36 to 0.50. Okay, according to the now surface is shallow or deep. For the shallow depth, the evaporation loss will be high. That's why you have to take the value of 0.50. For the deep lake, the evaporation is comparatively less than the shallow lake. That's why the coefficient for here is taken as 0.36. Okay, for the deep lake 0.36, for the shallow lake 0.50 is given. Now the question number 12. The calculate the evaporation rate from an open water sources if the net radiation is 300 watt per meter square, 300 watt per meter square, and the air temperature is 30 degrees Celsius. Assuming the value of 0 for sensible heat, ground heat flux, heat stored in water body, and the advanced energy. Density of water is 996 kg per meter at 30 degrees Celsius temperature. This is the question. We have to find the evaporation rate from the open water surface. The data is given here. This is net radiation is provided here, and the temperature is given here, and density of water is given. All these things are given. So the you can see that if you see the net radiation from the surface and considering sensible heat, ground flux, heat stored, adverted energy, etc. This is for the energy budget method. So energy budget method is used to find the evaporation loss from the area. So the for this we have to find the evaporation for the evaporation loss, and there will be the royal and royal B is considered for finding the evaporation loss. So L is the latent heat of evaporation, which can be calculated by using the formula 2501 minus 2.370 kilojoule per kg. This formula can be used for the latent heat of evaporation using that T value, temperature in degrees Celsius. Temperature is given as 30 degrees Celsius. Now solution using the, this is the question. This is the question for hint. This latent heat of evaporation can be calculated by this using formula. Okay. Now the solution. Using the energy budget method to calculate the evaporation loss from the reservoir of water is given by evaporation loss is equal to Hn minus Hg minus Hs minus Hi divided by rho L 1 plus beta. This is the equation which we have derived for the calculation of evaporation loss using the energy budget method. We have already discussed about it in the theoretical portion. Now this equation is used generally for the calculation of evaporation loss. And the latent heat of vaporization is calculated by using this formula which is given in the question, which gives the value of 24,29900 joule per kg. This kilojoule is the answer is taken in kilojoule, is converted into joules per kg. Now evaporation loss will be Hn minus Hg minus Hs minus Si divided by rho L1 plus beta, and the we know that the beta is calculated. Beta is calculated with respect with respect to the this heat flux into the atmosphere. Ha is considered, but this Ha value is given as 0. But this Ha value is given as 0, so beta will be 0. And this beta value can be calculated by this equation, but we have the Ha value as 0, so beta is 0. Beta value is 0. Now evaporation loss can be calculated by using this formula Hn minus Hg minus Hs Hs minus Hi divided by rho L 1 plus beta. This formula is used. Okay. Now here the evaporation loss is given by this equation, beta is 0. Then Ha value is 0, Hg value is 0, Hs value is 0, Hi value is 0, and the rho is given as 996 kg per meter cube. This is given in this equation, and Hn is given as 300 watt per meter square. Put all these values in this equation, then Hn is 300 minus Hg, Hs, Hi 0 divided by rho is 996 given in question at density of water. 996 is rho, and the rho L latent heat of evaporation is calculated as 2429,900 joules per kg, and this is the latent heat of vaporization, plus 1 plus beta is the formula, beta is 0. Okay, you will get the evaporation loss as 1.24 into 10 to the power minus 7 meter per second. In this way you can calculate the rate of evaporation. Now evaporation in a day, per second this volume of water is evaporated. Okay, now for a day, evaporation in a day will be 1.24 into 10 to the power minus 7 into in a this second is converted into hour by dividing 3600 and again multiplied by 24 to convert into the day. So this value will go upper side and multiply with this the 1.2 into 10 to the power minus 7 value, which gives the value of 0.0107 meter per day, which is the 10.770 mm per day. If you multiply this value by 1000, you will get the value of 10.70 mm per day. This is the required evaporation loss in a day. Okay, using this water positive energy positification. Now, question number 13. The reservoir with a surface area of 250 hectare had the following parameter during a week. Estimate the average daily evaporation from the reservoir as well as volume of water evaporated during that week using Mayer's formula. Mayer's formula is used to find the evaporation. This is the analytical formula to find the evaporation loss. Now, relative humidity is given as 60%. Wind velocity 1 meter above the ground surface is given as 15 km per hour. Saturation vapor pressure for the water temperature 200 degrees Celsius as 17.55 mm. 20 degrees Celsius is given as 17.55 mm of Hg. This is 20. Okay, this is 20 degrees. This is 20 degrees Celsius. This is given. ES value is given. EA has to be calculated with respect to the relative humidity. EA will be 0.60 into 70.55. Okay. Now relative humidity is given 60%. So EA is equal to 0.60 into ES, which gives the value of 10.53 mm of Hg. And from the Mayer's formula, the evaporation loss is calculated by using this formula. Coefficient of Mayer into 1 plus U9 by 16, U9 by 16, and difference between the saturation vapor pressure, that is ES minus EA. This is called the saturation deficit. Okay, and saturation deficit is the difference between the saturation vapor pressure and the actual saturation vapor pressure of the air. Okay, the difference is saturation deficit, and we have to find the wind speed above the 9 meter above the ground surface. The wind speed is given for the 1 meter above the ground surface. In the question, wind speed is given as 1 meter above the ground surface. But in the formula, we need the wind speed at the 9 meter above the ground surface. But from this 1 meter above the ground surface, this velocity can be converted into 9 meter above the ground surface by using the relation UH. UH is equal to CH power 1 by 7. This is the equation. If U1, if H value is 1, then C 1 power 1 by 7. H value is 1, U1 is equal to C H power 1 by 7. Okay. If H value is 2, H value is 2, U2 is equal to C H power 1 by C 2 power 1 by 7. Okay. In this way, you can find the relation. And if you take the U1 as 15 km per hour, C 1 power 1 by 7, the C value will be 15 km per hour. The C value is none as 15. Now U9 is equal to C 9 power 1 by 7. The height is 9, so C 9 power 1 by 7. Now C value is 15 and 9 power 1 by 7, which gives the velocity of wind above 9 meter above the surface will be 20.53 kilometer per hour. Okay, this kilometer per hour velocity is calculated by using this equation, using this relation. For 1 meter height above the ground surface, u1 velocity will be u1 c 1 to power 1 by 7. This is the equation. Okay, now c value is 15. After finding the c value as 15, now u9 is equal to c value is 15 for that area, 15 into 9 power 1 by 7, which gives the u9 value as 20.53 kilometer per hour. Okay, after knowing the u9 velocity, after difference between the es and ea and the cm coefficient of Meyer for the this is the reservoir is given here. For the deep reservoir, the coefficient may be taken as 0.36. For the shallow reservoir, the coefficient may be taken as 0.50. Okay, I am considering this lake, this reservoir as the shallow reservoir here, and for finding velocity is calculated. Now, considering the lake or reservoir as deep, then cm value is 0.36. cm value will be 0.36 for the deep surface. Okay, for the shallow surface, cm value will be 0.50. I am considering lake or reservoir as deep. Then EL is equal to 0.36. 1 plus this is the u9 by 16. u9 is 20.53 divided by 16. ES minus EA. This is the saturation deficit, which gives the evaporation loss from the reservoir as 5.7699 is equal to 5.77 mm per day. In terms of mm per day, this evaporation loss is calculated. Now, volume of water evaporated during that week, this is mm per day. For the week, this must be multiplied by 7 mm. Okay, 7 days. That's why the volume of water evaporated during that week is equal to volume of water evaporated per day into 7. This is week, and this volume is 5.77 is in mm, so it is converted into the meter by dividing it by 1000. Okay, this is converted into meter, and the area is 250 hectare. Area is given as 250 hectare. Here the hectare is converted into square meter by multiplying 10,000, and you will get the total volume of the evaporated water during that week as 1,975 cubic meter. Okay, in this way you can find the evaporation loss using the Meyer's equation. I have completed the tutorial number 3. Up to the chapter 3 we have completed all the course. Now I will start the chapter 4th from the next week. Okay, 3 chapter is completed. Hello, is there any confusion? Hello, have you all understood this? Hello, hello, why don't you say something here?
Hello?
Yes, how?
सर यसको यो च्याप्टरको चाहिँ यो ट्युटोरियल र थ्योरी पोर्सन चाहिँ हालिदिनु अपलोड गरिदिनु है फाइलमा
गरिदिन्छु। अब यो सक्यो नि, च्याप्टर 3 सक्यो, सकेपछि यो मैले अपलोड गरिदिन्छु ल। अब यति नै हो यसको है। अब 1 2 3 हाम्रो कम्प्लिटली सकिया छ, थ्योरी सहित न्युमेरिकल सहित जम्मै सकिया छ। कति पाना पढाइसक्यो अहिलेसम्म। अब यही च्याप्टरको मात्र अहिले यो न्युमेरिकल मात्र 11 पानाको रहेछ। अब थ्योरी कति पानाको थियो त्यस्तै 2 च्याप्टर 1 च्याप्टरको पनि अब न्युमेरिकल कतिवटा थियो, थ्योरी कतिवटा थियो, धेरै पढिसक्यो। अब 3टा च्याप्टर त एक महिनामा 3टा च्याप्टर सक्ने भनेको राम्रै हो है। अब अर्को महिनामा ताल पर्यो भने त राम्ररी पढायो भने त कोर्सै सकिने बेर हुन्न। त्यही पनि अब केही भन त भने धेरै छ तिमीलाई पढाउनुको लागि। मैले पहिला पूर्व तयारी गरेर बस्नु पर्यो, जम्मै हल गरेर चाहिँ आएर ठ्याक्क बनाउनु पर्यो, अनि बल्ल गर्नु पर्यो क्लासमा बाबा यसरी गर भनेर हिँड्दिन्थ्यो आफूले गर्नै पर्थेन यहाँ त जम्मै त्यो क्यालकुलेटर बोकेर हिसाब गर्नेदेखि लिएर इन्ट्री गर्नेदेखि लिएर टाइप गर्नेदेखि लिएर जम्मै गर्दाखेरि त यहाँ अहिले मलाई एकदम गाह्रो भएको छ किताब लेखे जस्तो भयो है अब एकचोटि बनाएँ भने मलाई अर्को पालि सजिलो होला ठिकै छ ल आज यति नै हो हाम्रो टाइम अब 11:05 हो के अरे अब 12:50मै हाम्रो के सक्यो त आजको यो च्याप्टर सक्यो मैले आज अब नयाँ च्याप्टर सुरु गर्दिनँ अर्को दिन चाहिँ नि आई विल स्टार्ट द न्यू च्याप्टर अफ च्याप्टर 4 फ्रम द नेक्स्ट विक ओके दिस मच फर टुडे आई वान्ट टु टेक अटेन्डेन्स 39 students are present today. I am going to take the attendance, downloading the attendance file. Now let me stop the recording. Okay.